media market? Green Bay. The number 2 smallest NFL media market? Buffalo. Number 3, New Orleans. Number 4, Jacksonville. Number 5, Vegas. Now, nobody sat there when Trevor Lawrence was drafted. I sat there and said the Jags would kill Trevor Lawrence before Trevor Lawrence would let down the Jags. That's turned out to be true. But nobody sat there and said, oh, my God, Trevor Lawrence can't go to Jacksonville. That's a small market. Whatever are they going to do? Nobody would have said, oh, my God, you can't send Cam Ward to the Raiders. That's a 5th smallest market. Like, certainly the Packers are legendary. It doesn't matter how big their market size is. Like, this is what the NFL does. The NFL can market anybody to anywhere. So they don't need the lottery system. And frankly, I don't see why the Jerry Jones of the world would ever agree to vote for something that could take them out of the running for a pick that they've earned by being so bad.
I guess it's just the logic of earning something for being so bad. Like and it's not, it's not the anti-tanking argument, because tanking does not happen that way in the NFL. The Dolphins tried it and they lost draft compensation over it, and there was significant fines handed out over it. Like, if these things are broached in the National Football League, they are pretty summarily swatted down, because there's one, too much gambling money involved in the NFL right now for that even to be, or any professional sport, for that even to be anywhere near the dialogue. But 2, I guess the only other argument for it in this situation is you can still, in the NFL, different than the NBA or the NHL, for example, 2 leagues that do the draft lottery situation, you cannot get a game-changing, a franchise-changing player at the 5th overall slot, right? In the NFL, you can in almost every draft, right? Patrick Mahomes is a 10th overall pick. Josh Allen was, if I remember correctly, outside of the top 5. Like, these are things in the NFL that are more viable to explore than they are in either of those 2 other sports that currently employ the lottery. So you would just look at those teams in that league and say, well, you don't just get the right to draft the best player because you sucked the most the previous season. You will have to be better at the scouting, at the drafting, at all the different support things that you are going to do if you end up picking 4th or 5th or 6th in that certain situation, depending on how the lottery would play itself out. It's incumbent upon you to be better rather than for us to uplift you.
There are countless examples over the last 5 years of terrible football teams winning games near the end of the season that took them out of the running for the 1st overall pick as coaches and players tried to save their jobs, and fan bases absolutely yelled at the top of their lungs. And they do that because, as you mentioned, tanking is impossible in the NFL, which is why anybody that sits there and says a team like the Saints might be passing on a quarterback in this year's draft so that they can go get Arch next year. No, it doesn't work that way. Like, the concept of trying to tank in the NFL is so broken, and the process of the draft is so perfect. And I know that drafting isn't perfect, but when it comes to the marketing of it, when it comes to utilizing college football as your marketing arm for the players that are coming in, free marketing basically, when it comes to the hype around it, when it comes to the numbers on podcasts and shows for draft content, like, the NFL draft is untouchable. So just because people that are around it all the time get bored with it doesn't mean it isn't substantial. Speaking of getting bored with it, a lot of people got bored with the schedule, but it did come out this week, and there was some substantial news within that schedule. We'll tell you about it next. He's Buck Rising. I'm Jason Fitz. We're hanging out with you, Buck and Fitz, on a Fox Sports Saturday. The most wonderful time of the year. Make your plan, book your flights, find a hotel, and say goodbye to the wife. The NFL schedule is out, and we've got it on Fox Sports Radio.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out